And as the Bible says, my people suffer from the lack of knowledge. So the knowledge is here, so you need to know it. It is nobody's fault if you don't know it. It is, the knowledge is available, so you need to know it. So I ask people simple things like, what is your blood pressure? I don't know, but my doctor said it was fine. What is your cholesterol level? I don't know, but my doctor said it was fine. What is your glucose level? I don't know, but my doctor said it was fine. I guess the doctor owns your body. It's your body. When your car runs out of gas, do you ask the mechanic, does the mechanic have to call you and say, your car is running out of gas, you need to put some gas? Or does your mechanic have to call you, that's why the modern cars have a service line. You need to service this car. But unfortunately, God didn't give us a service line for the servicing of our body. So we just keep using it until it dies. So we use it with dysfunctions like, yeah, I have problems with sleep, but it's okay. I poo like once every 2 days, but it's okay. I normally have diarrhea, but it's okay. Right? So we are sent all these signals, but we ignore them because we're really smart. Because we think we're healthy. Until then, there's a big problem, then we cry. They said I have cancer. Cancer takes 20 to 30 years to show up. So for 30 years, you were ignoring the signals. That is really at the heart of diagnostics. What is diagnostics? Trying to pick up what I call strong and weak signals. We're scanning and we pick up a strong signal like what? High blood pressure. It's a strong signal of a big problem that is developing. High cholesterol, it's a big signal. What is a weak signal? Things like constipation, it's a weak signal. Things like diarrhea, it's a weak signal. Things like UTI, it's a weak signal. Things like I cannot sleep, it's a strong signal. So there are strong signals and there are weak signals, and we're going to talk about it today. So stop taking supplements when you don't know why you're taking the supplements. People just want to buy supplements. Oh, I take fish oil. Then I say, why? Well, somebody said fish oil is good for me. Who said that? You must know why you're taking fish oil, and you must know the quality of the fish oil you're taking. If not, you're stupid, right? Like people who buy expensive car and go to roadside mechanics for service, right? Isn't that stupid? You buy a Porsche and you go fix it on the roadside. No, when I drove a Porsche, I take it to the Porsche garage, and what do? They plug it into the computer and they run the diagnostics. And they do what they call a 120-point diagnostics. It's expensive, but that's why I drove that car for 12 years and I did 270,000 miles and the car never broke down because I serviced the car properly. Do you understand? So don't buy expensive car and service it by the roadside. The expensive cars have a diagnostic architecture. And since God gave you a wonderful body, which he calls the temple, right? Treat it with respect like a luxury car. So let's go on this journey of diagnostics. Really a very important centerpiece of our intervention strategy. I have got a lot of feedback that I go too fast, that the subjects I open are very technically difficult. Yeah, God created a difficult architecture. You have to learn it. If you want to choose to be lazy, then you will die. Lazy. Learn it. It's the architecture that God created, and it is yours. So put your head down and learn it. So today, in the live, I have attached 3 documents. A picture of this whiteboard, because people have complained they can't see the whiteboard well. Number 2, I've attached 2 very important research papers. One is the hallmark of aging. It's a very important paper that everybody needs to read to understand aging and what causes aging. The second paper is the hallmark of cancer. You all need to read what drives cancer. When you have knowledge, you suffer less. When you have knowledge, you can take action, and actions can create habits. Very simple, right? Okay, let's begin. At the very beginning, what are the causes of chronic illness? You need to know that. This is why we all get sick. Number one, because we age. Read that paper on the hallmark of aging. Aging causes chronic illness. Why? Because our organs and cells degrade. It's like you buy a new tire, you use it, it degrades, you have to replace the tire. That chronic illness comes with use, right? Number two, infections. Every time you have an infection, it leaves a residue and an impact. You can never clean your infections 100%. That's why you try not to get the infection. But if you get it, we want to get rid of it as the best ways that we can. And antibiotics do not clear your infections properly because the bacteria is not stupid. They have becoming smarter than the antibiotics. The more antibiotics you may take, the more the bacteria builds resistance. So it's a stupid idea, right? And I know people love it because it's quick, but it's a very bad solution long term. Allergens. We have a lot of dust, mite, and things that are irritating to us, whether they are food allergies or what kind of allergies that we have, triggers and causes chronic issues with our immune system. Nutrients. Most people don't eat well. Very few people eat well. If I can show you the chart of the deficiencies for the basic RDA in the culture, whether it's vitamins, minerals, or some of the other substitutes. What's the biggest one? B12, vitamin D, vitamin C. Nobody takes enough vitamin C. You should be taking between 2,000 and 4,000 units a day. Most people don't. Or they don't eat all the vegetables they need to eat, or all the fruits, and all the things that they need. Nutrients, the body needs nutrients, not calories. Nobody gets enough of it. And the cells have to compensate for the lack of nutrients. And what is that compensation? They degrade their performance. Toxicity. Air, water, food, cream, everything brings toxicity into our bodies. Stress. I love that one. We love stress. Modern man likes to worry about our children, about our grandchildren, about President Trump, about Obama, about Hillary, about what else? COVID-19, right? We love to stress, and the more you're stressed, the more you're prone to chronic illness. So we're going to answer some of those questions. Then the last one, your DNA. Because if you don't live a good life, you drink, you smoke, and you do all those nonsense, and you die early, your genes have already been transformed with what we call epigenetics, and that's what you're going to give your children. So if you marry somebody who is an alcoholic, they're going to pass that gene to your children. Or somebody who has drugs and does all of that, you're going to pass that genetic weakness. So that's why every time you go to the doctor, they ask about your family history. So it is always important that you know your family history. And as I was telling the story the other day, a friend of mine, he's 40 years old, he found out just last year that his father wasn't really his father. And it was at the doctor's office. The doctor says, oh, we took blood from your dad, but it's not the same. I guess you need to go run your DNA. So you can imagine the interesting conversation he had with his mother. But why is that important? Because you may not really understand your family history, and so you'll be taking certain risks. So these are the 7 things that cause chronic illness, and we're all exposed to it. None of us does it really good. It's really challenging, especially if you live in Western culture. These 7 things cause these 10 clinical imbalances in our body.